Wages world, what is happening? What's up, Kool-aid Krew? Guys, we just had a pretty decent sized flare pop off. It's an X-7.1, one of the biggest ones we've had in months. Actually, one of the biggest ones we've had so far this sun cycle. And it was right in front of us, so we're going to be talking about that. Also, guys, sorry I got a couple minutes late start here. My daughter come running into the room. One of the windows was leaking, and I had to go out and, fix gutters and everything else right before I came on. So I do apologize for that, but that is, that's life, guys. Trying to do all that with cellulitis in my leg and trying to get back here. I already scheduled a live stream when it happened, and so I had to try to get here for you guys and make sure everything was good. So if you guys could, please like, or share the stream, especially, and share it out, and it will truly does help. So I do apologize again for being late. I am a little scattered right now because I had to rush in here. So please have a little bit of patience with me. Don't rake me over the coals too much. So you guys are going to see this X-Flare right here. And this is, I'm going to quit saying too. We got with that, see, there we go again. Trying to catch my thoughts here again. We had the other flare yesterday over here with the M flare from the same sunspot. Now, this is the exact same sunspot that Dr. Tony Phillips was talking about over there on spaceweather.com. So, yeah, this is a decent sized one. I'm not sure if it did hurl a CME yet or not. I'm waiting on coronagraphs to update so we can kind of confirm that if it did. I will say this. If it did produce a CME of any sort, of any kind, it's going to come right at us, okay? So I hope you guys kind of get that. Now, with that, I would also say we've already had R3 radio blackouts, okay? Now, we almost got to R4 again. So what I'm talking about is this over here. Let me just pause this. The internet's running a little slow tonight too, guys. That happened way before this, though, so it had nothing to do with this. But here's the flare from yesterday that almost got to X-Class, and I reported on that for you guys. This almost got to an R4. An R4 starts at, I think, X8, and it's only 8 and 9, and then you go into R5. I'm not sure why they do it like that. It just seems like a little small area for just that kind of storm level. You would think it would be a little bit more, but it is what it is, and that's just how they do the warning system here that they got with their scales and their indices that they use. Now, what I will say here is, typically a flare of this size will almost automatically send a CME. Now, I've seen X-flares not before, okay? So it's not a given. We're just going to have to wait, and we're going to kind of have a little bit of patience like I talk about all the time, guys. We have to have that patience. If we don't have that patience, we're going to get things wrong. And I did forever. I would try to rush out here and be the number one, oh God, here it is. And yeah, some urgency is needed. I get it. Because you don't want to come out here and report on a flare that happened 4 days ago, right? But at the same time, if you come out here and rush, what happens is you start getting things wrong. Like, I'll just give you an example of what I've done. Oh, wow, Planet Hermit. Whoa, look at that one, guys. Whoever gets those, thank you, Planet Hermit. Really do truly appreciate that. Wow, thank you. 20 memberships gifted, guys. Whoever gets those, give Planet Hermit some props on that one. Say thanks on that one. That's a big one. Thank you. I'll properly say thanks here about halfway through. I don't look for this to be a very long live stream either. So just kind of let you guys know that. Because really right now the X-Flare is what we're going to concentrate on. And so we're just going to kind of walk through this together. You guys are going to see me do what I do and before I come live with you guys. So, thank you, Kathy, for saying calm down. Believe it or not, that kind of thing does help. It really truly does when you guys kind of acknowledge, hey, it's okay, slow down for a minute. So thank you. I appreciate that. I really truly do. Uh, but anyway, guys, this is one of those situations where we don't want to jump the gun. We don't want to sit here and say, oh no, this is coming, that's coming, what's going on, right? Because no sooner than you do, and then it ends up being the famous cliche phrase, a nothing burger, right? That's been said to me, I can't tell you how many times. And every time that that's been said to me, it was never ever a nothing burger. The people that said that just didn't know where to go to look to see what kind of things happened during these events. I would challenge anybody to say it's a nothing burger if they were using any kind of ham radio equipment during a X3 or a R3 up to an R4 radio blackout storm. Then come talk to me, because that's not going to happen. Jammer, if he's in here, I'm not sure if he's in here or not, but he does the ham radio thing, right? And I guarantee you that they're having issues with that. That is just not even a question. It's just, yeah, it just is what it is. So again, with that being said, things do happen. You just got to know where to go look. And we kind of had a side conversation yesterday, guys. If you guys remember, I think Brian Stevens was the one that brought it up. Said something about another channel had mentioned these lines going across the coronagraph and how the data wasn't there anymore and all that kind of stuff. I went and looked at what the image was. I didn't have a whole lot of time to dig any deeper. I'm going to, but I can tell you right now, it's a light anomaly. What was being seen there, and I'll explain here in just a few minutes. But if you look at the D region absorption prediction model here, okay, we're going to look at this X flare. So let me bring it back here, right there. Okay, so Kathy, out there in Hawaii, aloha, my friend, my sister. Yeah, look at that. So that would be a very good chance that anybody in Hawaii using ham radio operator equipment right around 2200 UTC, you're going to see those kinds of eruptions. Not eruptions, but communication disruptions, right? So also the West Coast here, okay? Anything over here, anything inside this green, experience some sort of interference in the ham radio or the radio frequencies, okay? Depending on what kind of equipment you're using, whatever the wavelength is, and that gets kind of complicated. But radio propagation was hindered during that, okay? That's why they call it a radio blackout storm, right? So this is significant. This is a significant flare. Now, did that affect a whole lot of people? When you look at it globally, no, because it was out here in the Pacific Ocean, right? And but we don't want to forget that it doesn't have to affect a whole lot of people for it to affect one person. One person's enough, okay? So that's just what I would say. But at the end of the day, we just got to make sure that we're doing what we can, and yeah, and just making sure that we're patient with what we're reporting on. And so these X flares, guys, don't necessarily have to shoot a CME, and that's why I'm kind of stuck on that for a second, because it happens almost every time, guys. And it really is kind of, well, frankly, it's kind of annoying, to be honest with you, that people don't start to recognize that after you told them 500 times. And I'm not talking about somebody that doesn't know, right? That's totally different. But when I've talked to the same person over and over, hey man, have some patience, and just make sure, I went through the same learning curve there, and I don't want other people to have to do it unless they need to. I stuck my foot in my mouth 100 times back then. And I leave all that stuff out there for people to watch so they can see me make the mistake. So they know that it's okay to make that mistake, but at the same time, they're correcting themselves, right? And that's what a whole lot of people forget to do, is that second part. So with that being said, we're going to keep moving here. Now, what I do want to point out here, if this did hurl a CME of any kind, this is most likely going to be a significant one, okay? It would, at some level, cause a little bit of disruption in what we're doing as far as geomagnetic, anything geomagnetic, okay? So as we dig deep into this, we need to make sure that we're looking at the geoelectric field model and just looking at all the models that I'm looking at with you guys here. But we want to focus on what's happening here in our weather scales, our space weather scales, because that right there is really what's going to give you the best idea of what's going to happen right here, okay? So if we get a G2, a G3, you guys can come over here and read these, okay? NOAA Space Weather Space Weather Prediction Center. If you guys go over there, scroll all the way down on any of their pages, and you can find these scales, okay? It's also in my description box. So, yeah. Now, with that being said, if we get to, let's take a look at the R radio blackout here real quick. We got to an R3. Wide area blackout of high-frequency radio communications. Loss of, what's that say? My eyes are really kind of... Loss of radio contact for about an hour on sunlit side of Earth. Navigation. Low-frequency navigation signals degraded for about an hour. Now, what they're talking about there is, trying to steer things into place. Low frequency, some sort of, I would imagine drones at some level are affected by this. Those kinds of things. Satellites have to be steered back in. Now, if we get to an R4 radio blackout, which we almost did, this essentially was an R4 radio blackout, guys. Look how close it got. Okay? So, with that being said, an R4 is radio communication blackout on most of the sunlit side of Earth. In other words, if you were facing Earth at that time, you had a radio blackout in the high frequency range for about 2 hours. Okay? So, high frequency radio contact lost during this time. Navigation, outages of low frequency, okay, like complete outages is saying. Navigation signals caused increased error in positioning for 1 to 2 hours. Minor disruptions of satellite navigation. Okay, now we're talking about satellites getting involved. So, and remember, the flare is what's causing, the X-ray from the flare is what's causing this to happen, the radio blackout. Has nothing to do with geomagnetic storms. That comes later, 2 to 3 days later typically, when the CME hits. And that's when we start talking about these scales. Okay? So I get asked the question why, what's actually happening here? What's going to happen? It's a nothing burger, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Okay, whatever. You can go on thinking that if you want, or you can listen to me for a second and let me explain what actually does happen. Okay? So, and that's what I tell people. But I think it's our responsibility as content creators and people that have channels to really hammer that fact home. Okay? We need to do that so people don't think that it's something that it's not, and people don't underestimate something that needs to be stated a little bit more intensely. Okay? So in other words, just put your horse blinders on, look straight forward, and look at what you're looking at. Don't let the other stuff from the side influence what you're thinking. Look at the data yourself. I always tell people, don't listen to me. Don't listen to my opinion. When I show you something here, yes, listen to it. This is a factual thing. This is data. This is what I want you guys to see. You guys are very, very intelligent. You guys can make up your own mind whether you think something's going to happen or not. Okay? So that's just what I'll say there. Now, hey, John and Spirit, Surgery, good to see everybody. Let the sunshine in, what's up? Kimberly Ray, Diana Stewart, Heidi, what's up? Miss B's in the house, Jennifer, Daniel, what's up, brother? Off D Hook. Nice name. Like it. Yes, earthquakes. Thank you, Off the Hook. That's another thing. Okay? Anytime we have any kind of space weather, you got to assume that the seismic activity is going to increase. Okay? So as we're looking at this, I'm going to just kind of take this slow on this one. Now, we've looked at this angstrom long enough, I think. Let's go over here to the 304. And this is the ionized helium. Hey, Gunslinger, good to see you. Raymond, what's up? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. So, let this thing load. And what I do want to do is show you guys what, well, I don't even really need to do that. I'm not going to go into that tonight. I'll show you guys tomorrow that satellite anomaly. I've shown it to you guys 1,000 times. It's those lines that streak across in different directions. And what, was not a massive proton storm. Okay? It could have been some highly charged particles, but it was nowhere near a proton storm. So, and I'll get more into that later, but, and I can explain and show you things to help you guys understand why it's not and what's actually happening. My plan is to show you guys the imager itself. It's a tube, and I'll be able to explain a lot just by showing that to you, because it'll click immediately for you guys when I show you what the insides of these imagers look like, because it mirrors some of the camera anomalies we see on these coronagraphs. So, and that's something I had to learn, guys. This is nothing that, yeah. So I understand when people see those things across there, it looks like, oh my gosh, what's going on, right? But when it's explained, then you start to understand things a little bit better. And so that's just what I'll say. It's nothing wrong with thinking, oh my gosh, what the heck is happening? That question's very legitimate when you see something like that. But as we move forward, you got to be able to accept whatever the answer is. And unfortunately, we get people out there that won't. And that goes on both sides. That's not one side or the other. I'm down the middle on all that. Okay. Let's see here. I had planned on doing that, showing that to you guys today too. And with my window leaking right there. I mean, I'm still sweating. My leg is killing me. Anyway. So this is Dr. Tony Phillips, and there's an eclipse too, guys. We're not going to see it here in the States. Kathy might. I'm not sure if Hawaii's getting in on that or not. Doesn't look like it. Hawaii's kind of out here, I think. But there is an eclipse going on here. So if you're down in this area of the world, yeah, you guys can. It's an annular solar eclipse. It's tomorrow, the 2nd. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, check this out. You know what that is? That's a comet tail. It's from the comet that's incoming. This is the one that's supposed to, as we get closer to, it's October 12th, we're going to get that forward light scattering from all the dust around it, and the sunlight hits that dust, and it scatters the light towards us when it becomes on the same plane as we are with the sun. Okay? I've talked extenuously about the ecliptic, right? That's the equator of the sun stretched out infinitely. It's an imaginary line, okay? That's called the ecliptic. So, we use that so we can understand positioning in space relative to the sun and to you, okay? So if I say we're above the ecliptic, that means looking at the sun from our perspective, we're actually, the ecliptic is the equator of the sun. We would be north of the equator of the sun in relation to the sun, right? From our vantage point. Now, using the sun as a central point there. Now, I can sit there and say, hey, the Earth is north of the ecliptic, but if we take a look, let's just pick a planet. Mercury is south of the ecliptic, right? That's what I'm talking about. So we understand what's going on there. So with this thing, with that comet coming up through here, when it gets wherever Earth is at, I'm not sure exactly where we're going to be. I haven't looked. Whatever position we're at, as far as in relation to the equator of the sun, the ecliptic, when that comet gets on that same plane, okay, the dust from that comet is on that same plane. That dust will catch that sunlight and it'll scatter it forward towards us. So it gets brighter. It appears to get brighter. That's what's happening. It's forward light scattering from the dust. Okay? And it's at its maximum when it's on the same plane as the Earth is in relation to the sun. Okay? And I know that probably confused some people there, but I wanted to make sure I kind of covered that a little bit more. I'm sorry if I confused you. I can try again to explain it to you guys tomorrow maybe. Hopefully you guys understood that. So if the comet's coming, say the comet's coming this way, let's just do this. I got a better idea. Well, you know what? Let's do this X-flare thing first, and then we'll do that. Okay. So again, this is the 304. This is SDO from our perspective. It's as if you went outside and looked up. Okay. This is ionized helium. It filters out all other light except for the 304 wavelength of light, that angstrom of light. And it happens that ionized helium is picked up in that angstrom. Now they could put any light filter they want on these imagers, okay? But you don't, if the sun doesn't have that particular gas, you're not going to see anything. It's just going to be a black picture, right? So that's why they choose certain angstroms, because different gases show up and it gives us a different visual. Helps us understand things just a little bit better, okay? Now, I have to say that I'm not seeing a whole lot of CME action from this thing. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's pause it, and there it is right there, okay? Yeah, I'm not so sure that thing had much of a CME at all, guys. Which would be good. That'd be a good thing. I mean, because flares this powerful have the potential to really blast out some CMEs. Now, let me say this too, though. The sun is the background from our viewpoint. Okay, from our perspective. The sun's going to camouflage things. Okay, so if it did erupt right there, it's going to be harder to see. But we still should be able to see it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at a different angstrom again. Let's look at the 94. I like using this one because it does show the flare really, really well, as you can see. And then we will be able to see if any of these magnetic lines busted off and erupted out. It just doesn't look like we had a CME with that, guys. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I mean, we could have. I'm not saying we didn't, okay? But until I see it on the coronagraph, I'm going to land on, if we did get a CME, it wasn't much of one. And I could be completely wrong on that, which is why I typically don't even say it. But let's go right to there. Okay, so that's all that light hitting the camera, getting overexposed. Or the imager, I should say. I'm sorry, guys. I am just not seeing it. It doesn't mean that we can't see other eruptions either. I mean, that's definitely possible. And if we look at the last image here, I want you guys to notice something. What did I do there? Are you serious? Man, sorry, guys. Anyway, let's pause it. Look right here. Okay, watch when I run this back a little bit. Okay, so the X-flare happened there. Okay, so if I go forward, it kind of calms down, right? And then it looked like it surged right at the end again. See that? So it could be flaring again. It's what it looks like to me. But also, if I run this back before the X-flare, watch this. Watch how everything's communicating with each other. This sunspot, these sunspots, this sunspot. Watch. See that? That's that X flare. You've seen this light up, and even way over here. Okay, so here's the X flare. Now watch here. I'm sorry, right there. It's hard to... Right there, okay? And then, again, it just disrupted all this. So, again, guys, I want you guys to pay attention to this too, right here. You see these? These things are going to rotate in within the next few days. This is not going to slow down, okay? This is something that we're going to be on a little bit of an uptick. And as we keep moving here, that's what's, I think we're going to get more active. And I've said this for the past few weeks now. I'm seeing most of the sunspots in the southern hemisphere. That is an indication from what I've been reading and what I'm trying to understand better that we are progressing in the sun cycle when that starts to happen. Okay? So we could be starting to get very, very close to the peak. I'm not sure that we are. I don't know when we're supposed to peak. Nobody can give you an exact date on that anyway. You can't forecast it. But, matter of fact, they retrocast it. Do you guys know that? They wait now. They won't tell you when the actual sun cycle started or ended until months after it's happened. Because they want to go back through the data and make sure they kind of get it right. Because there's a lot of factors involved in deciding whether or not that sun cycle started here or there. Right? And I think it's just a responsible thing to do anyway. We don't need to know immediately if that was the, how active the sun cycle was or when it flipped over. You know what I mean? You don't have to know that immediately. It's not going to affect your life in any sort of way. So it's okay to wait, is what I'm trying to say. Now, wham. Okay? So here's that. Now watch this sunspot here. See how things are getting active right there? And I do think, like I said, guys, this has a tendency when we get these big flares to really just destabilize a lot of the things that are already on the sun. So, let's take a look at the other angstroms. I'm going to show you all the angstroms tonight on this. Okay? This is going to be the focus of this live stream, is this X flare. That's really why I'm here talking to you. So, this is the 171. Yes, this is a very beautiful image. Okay? That when it's blacked out like that, it's not. But but we get to see a lot of the corona. Okay? So typically we will see when we have those big eruptions whether or not the corona got disrupted. If it did, that would almost indicate a CME, right? Now remember, a CME can stay in the corona of the sun and get recaptured. So you could call it a coronal mass ejection, and we're going to keep using that CME anyway because that's what the community does, okay? But the proper term is ICME, which is interplanetary coronal mass ejection, which means that it's went out into the planets. It left the sun. Interplanetary. Okay? So I'm actually kind of rethinking what I said a minute ago, guys. This may have produced a CME. I'm just gonna have to wait on the coronagraph. So what you're gonna see that? And it did disrupt the corona, but it didn't look very strong. I have to say, the CME with this, if there is one, doesn't look all that impressive. And I could be dead wrong on that. Sometimes we can't see it very well. Okay? Which is why I'm harping on that a little bit. So, yeah. Now, let's go here. Let's look at the 211. This is the one I usually show you guys to show you guys coronal holes. Now, I can tell you for certain that a coronal hole, when it's facing Earth, we most definitely will see an uptick in seismic activity. Okay? That's just a fact. That's historical data. You can go look at it. It computes back and forth. 100% related. Now, what you're going to see here is this X flare is going to blast off, and I bet that it actually caused a bit of a coronal hole for a second. Yeah, it did. and we'll see it kind of like right here. Watch it erupt, and then you'll see that. Now, looking at that, see, I'm leaning towards the CME again here because I'm seeing the whole corona kind of, I can see it kind of going across the face of the sun. And you guys might not be able to see it very well, but you can definitely see that it traveled, okay? But it can travel across the face of the sun and not leave it, okay? So I just want to point that out. It doesn't look like this thing produced much of a CME. That's just kind of where I'm landing right now. But yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, I want to say thank you. I need to say while I'm saying thank you to you guys, can you guys please give me a roll call in there if you would? I would really appreciate that. My dad texted me today and said, hey, I sent him a link to my show the other day. Remember he got stung he swallowed a bee and got stung on his throat. Ended up going to the hospital and all that. And I was pretty worried about him there for a minute. I don't bug him though. I know how it is to be sitting in a hospital bed and everybody hitting your phone. That sucks. So I waited. But he texted me and said, hey, it was a good show. I said, did you see all the ones in the chat? He's like, I don't think he's seen that. He didn't even know what that meant, I don't think. So, he appreciated that. Okay, guys? So thank you guys for that. The prayers and stuff. I mean, you guys are just above and beyond. Always. Okay? You guys always have been. So thank you for that. Now, thank you, Planet Hermit, for the 20 gifted memberships. That was very, very generous. Very, very generous. So thank you. So let's see where we're at here today, guys. Where are we at? Mercuriana. Yay! Your dad is okay. Yep. Sure is. What flag is that? I'm sorry, Mercuriana. On the river of Chattahoochee, baby. Bothell, Washington. That's right. Northern Utah. Nicole, what's up? Minnesota, Ange. Mark from East Tennessee, baby. Kim B, San Diego. Pam B, I know where she's from. East Central Indiana. She's my neighbor. She's the next town over, by the way. You're awesome, Planet Hermit. You really, truly are. I mean, I'm humbled every time. I'm humbled anytime somebody just gives one, just becomes a member. I can't tell you how much that does for my mental faculties as I'm doing my show. It really does give me some confidence and lets me know that you guys want to be here. So thank you for that. It is awesome. Hey, Evolution Studios, good to see you. Guys, get over and check out his channel. I think he's posting there pretty regular now. He's the one that sent me, well, I can show you this real quick. Let me show you guys this. Okay, I got it right here. Let me just get you guys back here. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is very cool stuff because we could see these kinds of things during all this. Okay, this is his Gary Mustard II. I believe that's his name. I think his name's Gary. I think. But this is his stuff. This is his aurora photography, and he sent these to me a while back, and I showed them to you guys before. I think a couple of different times. But the aurora was moving from west to east. And it typically doesn't do that from what I understand. So I don't know if it's a big deal that it moved the other direction or not, but that's what we've seen. So typically they move east to west. And I would assume because of the rotation of the earth and our magnetic field and all those kinds of things are involved there. But yeah, he was able to catch the aurora going in a direction that it typically doesn't move. Now, when I say aurora is moving, really what I'm saying is the charged particles are moving that direction. Because the molecules that are in that section of the atmosphere are there. They're not in any different place. What's different is the charged particles coming in, moving the different direction. They're exciting whatever molecules are there. So it causes this to happen, right? So I guess from what I understand, it typically moves from east to west, which would be right to left. It makes sense to me, but yeah. But get over there and check that out, please. Nana Deborah, well, thank you, Nana. Appreciate you. Guys, please use your free super chats. I know I harp on that, but you know, we don't get a whole lot of free things in this world. And if I can facilitate any kind of anything free, I'm going to do it for you. So there you go, Miss V. Okay, thank you for that, though. Thank you for being a member. I really do appreciate it. And while we're talking about that, just for a second, it was beautiful, wasn't it, Angie? We'll go back to that for a second. I'm thinking about doing a members only stream after Marf tonight. If you guys are interested in seeing or doing the members only after Marfugel's done tonight, let me know in the chat, okay? Or come back to this video and leave me a comment if you would. I'm not going to do it if it's only like 5 or 6 people can be here. But if you guys want me to do a members only tonight after Marf, I'm going to be up. So if you guys want to do that, I'll do that for you. I found some really cool clips, by the way. You guys are it's going to be so fun. I found this one clip. It's just going to blow your mind how incredibly crazy people are. We're going to be watching some Zoom Court, in case you guys didn't know. Over there. So yeah. Well, thank you, Butterfly. Tell all the mods do rock. Every one of them. Yeah, Chuck, that's a good comment. That's an interesting comment there, bud. Do you guys read that? Sorry, guys. Oh, it's okay, Hermit. No. Guys, don't feel bad if you can't. I'm just trying to get a feel on if you guys want me to do it or not. That's all. But check out that comment from Chuck. It says, it was moving west to east in southwest Pennsylvania, the last decent storm that we had. Back in 2003, during the Halloween storm, I've talked about that storm before. He remembers seeing the aurora move north to south. That's yeah. So I don't know exactly if that's a big deal or not, right? I just simply don't know. I haven't seen or read anything that tells me that it is, but I haven't seen or read anything that tells me it's not either. So I just don't know. And like I said before, what it's indicating is it's indicating what direction the charged particles are actually moving. Guys, I got to plug my computer in real quick. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to keep talking to you here. I thought I had this plugged in, but given the leaky window, I kind of dropped the ball on that one. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to make this quick. I tell you guys, life is life, you know? What's the option, though, right? What's the alternative? Hear what I'm saying there, guys? Hopefully you guys get that. I know you guys do. I know you do. All right, let me plug this in real quick. Just about done. Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm all over the place in this live stream. I apologize. Okay, we're all plugged in, good to go. So we're not going to die battery-wise. So, yeah. Now. Yeah, the rocket fall. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Butterfly, you're awesome. Just so you know. We need to tell each other that more often, guys. Hey, shalom, Manuel. Hope life's good for you. And prayers for everybody over there, by the way. You said shalom, so you guys know what I'm talking about. I just want you guys to understand that. That's, guys, you know, I don't live in a box or under a rock. I know everything that's going on, just like everybody else does. I don't talk about it here on the channel because that's not what we do here, right? It does tend to, you know, unless your channel is about some sort of news channel, it's best to kind of steer away from talking about that a whole lot because it will start arguments. And people get upset because we have very polarized views in this world anymore. So, you know, unfortunately, that's just what the case is. Now, so I am going to run through a couple more things here with you guys real quick, though, okay? What I do want to do is I'm going to pause this. I think, guys, and hang with me here for a second, please. Um, Let me just say this. Okay. Now, this solar flare yesterday, right at the turn of the day, I want to take a look at that on the coronagraph because I want you guys to have a better understanding of what I meant when I was talking about, hey, did that thing have a CME? And I think I even mentioned it yesterday that it looked like, what happened there? That's stupid. Anyway, I have to pull that back up. Sorry, guys. Man, I tell you, wow. Huh. Brutal on me today, guys. Brutal. Okay, so the turn of the day, which was this right here. Okay, this is the coronagraph at the same time as this flare happened. Why am I showing that to you? Well, let me zoom in here. Okay, this is an occulter disk. It's a physical disk. It blocks the main light of the sun. Now, unless you watch these coronagraphs like I do, all the time, day, night, all that stuff, right? What you need to understand is that it takes about an hour for us to be able to see the CME once it erupts. If you look at the red version over here, they actually put a circle here on it for us to understand that that's the surface of the sun. Okay, so by the time we could see it on a coronagraph, it had erupted between an hour to 2 hours before we seen it. Now, with that being said, when we have something blow straight at us, or exactly the opposite direction, it's going to look the same. So we have to understand that. Now, I've went over that 1,000 times. When you have an eruption on the front, it's going to look the same as if the CME went straight off the back, because we don't have a side view, right? And we have this physical disk in the way. But if I take this here, I'm going to take you guys here to SDO, and I want to show you, let's just go here on the 94. Let's change that date to the 30th. And let's let this thing load. I want to show you the flare from yesterday. Now remember, it came from the same sunspot, okay? Now, let me pause it. So there's that M-class flare. Almost X-class. Now, I was wondering if it shot off of CME or not. And I was still kind of on the fence until I zoomed in. Can you guys see anything? I'm curious if you guys can. You might not be able to see it because it's very, very faint. And yeah, that just is what it is. Watch for like a haziness right here. Hey, thank you, Planet Hermit. Appreciate you. Another 5 gifted memberships. Oh, you did it. Who else did? I missed somebody? Heidi did. Thank you, Heidi. Wow, you guys rock. You guys are killing it in there. There you go. Hey, Ilea, good to see you, sister. For real. Thanks, guys. I mean, you guys are... Wow. Man. You guys make me forget real quick that I had to go out and climb up a ladder and clean out my gutter so my daughter's window would quit leaking. Guys, that hurricane's been jacking me up, man. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for those gifted memberships, Heidi and Planet Hermit. You guys rock. All right. Hey, round 5. Wow, man. What an awesome. Wow, thank you. Hey, Heather Joy's in here with the super chat. What's up with that? Hey, Heather, good to see you, girl. I like that style of avatar you got going on there too. It's pretty cool. Thank you guys so much. Really, I'm not just saying that. Thank you. You guys are just awesome, all of you guys. Back at you, Off D, for real. And just know, guys, just so you guys know, if you guys see people getting gifted memberships, they have absolutely no control who those go to. The algorithm will pick the person that is most active in the chat. That's how that works. But anyway, so let's do this. So you're going to see a little haziness right here. This is from that M-class flare. Okay. Is it doing anything? Okay, let's go next. Oh, it's going to do that to me? Are you kidding? Okay, anyway, I'll just run it that way. We're kind of going backwards here, but that's okay. I'll show it to you when it happens here. Well, you can't see it that well zoomed in that far. So let me just back it up here. And you guys see this right here now? You see that? That's a CME, guys. Okay? So that M-class flare yesterday, that one right there, almost X-class, did produce a CME. It didn't look to be very powerful, though, which is very similar to this X-class flare. Okay? Who just super chatted again? Scott! Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys. You guys just rock. I know I've been saying that a lot, but daggone. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Go up here and highlight that one. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you, bud. For real. For real. You guys, you know, and I get, guys, just so you guys know, those that do donate memberships like that, I get emails all the time of people that get gifted memberships saying thank you. And they're saying thank you to you guys. So thank you. Ilea with the super sticker. Thank you. Wow. You didn't need to do that, sister. You know that. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I like that super sticker. That's pretty cool. I like it. Like it. Well, thank you, Heather Bell. Appreciate you. Guys, if I could magically snap my finger and give you all you guys a membership, I would. I promise you I would. I'm not kidding. I want all you guys everywhere with me. I mean, I really do. I just have no way of doing it. And it's just, yeah. You know, and that's the thing. And just thank you guys. I just know that I appreciate all of you guys. I need to back off of that for a second because people are gonna get mad at me. Okay, so I do think that produced a CME. Now, what I'm going to do here is I will take you guys over here to the NASA CME tracker. Oh, okay. Guys, that's the updated version. So this X-Flare did absolutely produce a CME. That's new. Okay? Wasn't like that a little while ago. You watch the date here, 10/1. So yes, it absolutely produced a CME. And it's absolutely going to hit us dead on. And that's what I kind of said. If it did produce a CME, that's what was going to happen. So yes, this thing is going to hit us. Now, what it does from there, I can't really say yet. I do want to give it some time to be able to see it on the coronagraph better. Once I see it on the coronagraph, I'll be able to give you a better idea on how powerful it could be. Judging by this model, it doesn't look to be like excessively powerful. It doesn't look like it's moving at breakneck speed. It's taking about the normal time to get here. It doesn't look to be very like massively dense because we're not seeing a whole lot of that black or white color. And the speed, the density, those are really the two things that we can look at. And when it gets here, we look at the BZ, right? That's the magnetic polarity of the magnetic fields inside it. If we're at a negative position, we couple to it when it hits. And that'll draw things in and make it stronger. And there's no way to like forecast that part of it. You just got to wait for the data to start coming in on that end of it. But yeah, we do get a little bit of a warning. And I know that a lot of people don't talk about this. But we get about an hour. Because Soho's right here. It's about a million miles closer to the sun than what we are. Okay? That's just a rough estimate. So things are going to hit this satellite before it hits us. And, you know, now, even with that kind of an hour warning, I guess, if you want to use those terms, it It's just not all that much. It's just not enough time to come out here and give anybody any kind of anything, right? See you, Callie. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And I'll be over there too. All right. Okay. So now this comet, guys, this is going to be a big story. Okay. I'm going to cover it. Okay. I plan on covering all this, the whole kit and caboodle. And I'll try to keep you guys updated as much as I can, but know that there's going to be a bunch of other people covering it also. Not just in space weather. You're going to see news, like your nightly news, talk about this. As a matter of fact, I've already seen a couple of them speaking about it already. So just know that. But again, this is Dr. Tony Phillips' website. If I can get one of my mods to throw that link in the chat, if you could, I would really, truly appreciate it. But you can look for everybody to start talking about this, because if it's going to be a daytime visible comet with your naked eye, that's something special. Okay? That's not just your every average day comet flying through our solar system. Okay? Something else that's interesting, I reported on this yesterday, and we're going to go back a day here on his website. Guys, if you guys didn't know you could do this, please pay attention to what I'm doing right here. Change the date to whatever date you want to see and hit view. Okay, now if it gives you the same date because of the time frame we're in right now, it's about the turn of the day, go back another day. Okay, so let's go back to September 30th and hit view. And it'll take you back to yesterday's report. This is cool because we were looking at this comet, right, that's coming in. We discovered a brand new one. And this one's a sun grazer also. So it has potential that it could at some level be visible. I'm not sure what the initial kind of thoughts are on that yet, but they discovered another one and it's sizable. So, and it's all coming from the Krew, the material left over from the Krew comet that came through our solar system. Okay, that's just dust and everything else. It was produced by that comet, and so they will be in a very similar orbit. Okay, that's just how it works. So just so you know. Now this picture here was back in I think it was it 2000. I think it was 2011, guys. This was Comet Lovejoy. What an awesome name, by the way. I like that name, actually. So, but anyway, they're saying that it could start to look like this. So, it's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. Very, very cool. Check that out. I love that. Talk about some artistic eyes right there. You know, you got to have some artistic ability there to like just say, hey man, somebody go stand on my roof while I take this picture. I guess nowadays you could just put like you could digitally put that there. I'm not saying that it is. Who took that picture? Let's see. Let's give him some credit here. Okay, let's see here. Who took that? Eduardo Schaberger? Papaya? I guess. Pupea? I don't know how to pronounce that last name, and I don't want to sit there and just like butcher the name, but it's from Rafaela, Argentina. So that's where that was seen. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's really cool. So just know that. Now, guys, I was talking about this earlier, how all the sunspots were down here. Does that kind of bring it home for you right here? Because what he does here is he actually makes this a little bit brighter, so you guys add some contrast to it so you can see more. Look at this. All of them are in the southern hemisphere. It's almost like, even right here on the equator, it's almost like one big long filament. Yeah, I've not often seen the sun look like that. We're not seeing hardly anything up here. Now, there are still some, and I would say that would be a normal thing, but it's a continual thing right now. It's been like this for weeks. So I'm not really sure what that means. It could mean whatever, right? So, yeah. Okay, now, let's see how long have we been going here. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time that I've already... Yeah, okay. All right, guys. So I think what I'm going to do is I may pop in for a morning video. Oh, check it out, guys. Look. Look, check it out. Before you click off, check that out. We're getting another flare right now. And if you remember what I said just a few minutes ago, down here, right? Ain't that what I said? Pretty sure I did. See that? Now, given that, it doesn't look like it got much bigger than a very low-class M flare. Okay? So that was not a big deal, but it did flare again. So that just tells me that it's still unstable. And we can actually look at that real quick. I will look at that real quick with you guys. Okay? I was going to show it to you anyway, and I forgot. Let's look at the magnetogram, the colored version. It gives us the best idea of polarity and how things are, how stable they are in a visual. When you see reds and blues mixing, that's when you know that it's not the most stable thing in the world. Okay, so here they are over here, and it's representing positive and negative, the reds and blues. See what's happening here? Look at this. I think this thing ain't done. I'm telling you, this thing is not done by no means. Yeah, I would even say, just pay attention to space weather, guys. Okay, the next few days, it just really does look like it's. Yeah, you got reds and blues right up next to each other. When that's happening, we get reconnections, and that's what causes the flare. That is the flare. When it reconnects, it boom. Right? It's like taking your positive and negative terminals, hooking up some jumper cables to them, and taking those two jumper cables and touching them. Okay? That's kind of what we're doing here with these flares. Just so you know. But yeah. Well, thank you, Planet Hermit, for all that you do here. You, all you guys have, I can't say enough in words how much you guys have positively affected my life. And that is the God's honest truth. That's everybody. I'm not singling anybody out here. You guys are awesome. Every single last one of you. It is not lost on me that you guys don't have to be here listening to me. And I feel like a lot of other channels have forgotten that. Much like I was looking at a channel trying to figure out that anomaly on the light thing there. And I just, yeah, you can tell where you're appreciated and where you're not. I'll just leave it at that. Okay? You guys know I don't mention channel names or anything like that, so it's not what I'm saying. It's just an example because I was over there and I was just trying to figure out what was going on with that anomaly. And, man, I tell you, it's just a different environment. I'll just say that. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go watch people. It's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I appreciate you for what you guys do here for me, and you're here for me every time I've come on here, and you guys continue to watch. And I understand that I'm doing some of this too. I'll take some credit for that. I have no problem doing that. I think it's crazy for people that say that they don't want to take credit for their channels, and the channel is all about everybody else is doing it, but the person that is doing the channel, right? I think that's a little bit disingenuous, in my opinion. Because everybody, including the person doing the channel, all that has to be there at the same time. So, that's just what I'll say. But just know that if there was any other vocabulary I could use, there's just nothing strong enough. No vocabulary words. I couldn't even string together a phrase that would be strong enough for how I feel about that kind of stuff. You guys are just that awesome to me. And I'm not just saying that. So thank you for always being here. And I'm not going to come out here and talk about being sick all the time either, okay? And I'm not. So, again, me mentioning I had cellulitis, please do not worry about me, okay? I don't want anybody worrying about me. When you come here, please just the space weather and then everybody else there. That's what I want. That's really what I want. So please do that for me. I'll take prayers all day long. You want to say, hey, Wages, I'm praying for you. I just don't want to dwell on it, okay? That's not why I'm here. So just so you know. But I do appreciate the prayers and everything else. And yeah. And my dad was, he's never texted me about my channel like that before. So that was something special for me. My family doesn't take much interest in what I do here on YouTube. Matter of fact, I would probably say that just most of them don't care, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, he did that yesterday, and it was nice to hear it. So once again, guys, thanks for praying for him and me, and guys, we 100% have to keep praying for each other. And right now, I'm just going to say it. We have to be making sure we're praying for Mist. She's struggling with some stuff. I wouldn't say struggling. She's going through some things. So let's get some ones in the chat there for her if you could. Praying hands and anybody else that's fighting anything. I truly do pray for you guys every day. I'll I'll mention Mist's name or whoever else's name that's going through stuff. And then I'll do kind of like a general, please, like protect my internet family. That's what I call it. So, as a whole. So just know that. But K+4 is in the house. And yeah, so send prayers, good thoughts, whatever your thing is. Miss V, thank you. We all got our things, right? And we all got to be there for each other when those things are happening. And I think this community and this channel, and when I say community, I'm talking about me, Marth, everybody else that's around us, right? Rip, Ilea, Trinity. Now, I know I'm forgetting people, okay, guys? I mean, I can't mention them all because there's so many of them. So many good people. That's what I'm talking about when I say community. Because you're going to see almost everybody that's here, they'll circle around all those channels too. Because it's a great community. That's why, guys. People don't stay unless that's happening. So thank you, guys. John the Spirit, you're awesome, brother. Get over and check out Matthew Shipley too, guys. Great graphics over there on his channel. Thank you, Ken B. Appreciate you. Back at you, Robert. Back at you, buddy. Alright, guys. So anybody that's a member, anybody that's not, I'm going to put out 2 community posts. I'm going to put one in the regular community post and see if, I'll just mention to everybody. What I'll do at first, I guess, is I'll put out a post to the members only, and see if they want me to do one tonight after Marv. If not, I'm not sure if I understand that one. What's the one about got distracted? I would see. Oh, okay. I'm kind of lost on that one. Sorry, Kathy. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, I'm going to put it down there in the members only community tab, right? So if you're a member, please look and let me know if you guys want me. I might post it as a poll. Do you want me to live stream a members only stream after Marfugal tonight? That's going to be the poll. Okay? Yes or no? And then I'll go from there. And once I get the answer to that, then I'll post it over in the regular community tab and tell everybody, hey, we're doing a members only. If you want to become a member or whatever, please do and come over and share with us. So yeah. Anyway, it's going to be fun too. Whenever we do the members only stream, it's going to be a fun one because I got some really cool, funny court clips I'm going to show you. It is so funny, some of these things that these people will say. Nuts. Some of the things that they do. It's crazy too. Alright, Diana. Good to see you. Off the chain, baby. Cindy Who? John Starr? Alright, guys. I am popping out of here. Kind of rambling on here now at this point. Alright, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves, and as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.